Well, hey Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Gundam Universe, Gundam Unicorn Destroy Mode. This is Renewal. So these are the newer versions they've come out. I did the recent review of the Wing Zero and the Epyon, where they kind of did some re-engineering to the Gundam Universe line. I have the original Destroy Mode Gundam Unicorn. We'll look at that and do a comparison. So yeah, let's jump in. All right, and we are doing a fresh unboxing right now. All right, let's get this open. And you know, one thing you can notice right off the bat is the size of the box. These boxes are way bigger than the original. I don't know if they plan to do that with all of them, but so far with the Epyon, the Wing Zero, and now this, they have these bigger boxes for more accessories. Man, and tons of accessories. In fact, this almost looks like robot spirits, if you didn't know. Right off the bat, I wonder if, with how the prices are, we get a little better engineering, a little more pricier Gundam Universe figures because of the cost of robot spirits. All right, let's get this off, and we'll take a look at the base body here real quick. Oh, let's actually plug in the included back skirt armor. Very interesting. It's similar to the Godzilla action figures that they have, where they come in the packaging without the tails on. All right, here we have the unicorn. Oh, hand popped off. Okay, something this reminds me of that I want to talk about is, and I noticed this with the Epyon figure, the hands tend to come off too easily. There's not that much, I guess, of a place to catch the hand in here, and they can pop off way too easily. On the Epyon here, I actually put glue on there, hot glue, or not hot glue, but super glue, to kind of give it some more material to catch in there, because the hands were just falling off. So I think I've come across kind of the cons with these so far, or the hands tend to fall off. Now it could just be the ones I've gotten, but I don't know if that's going to be a consistent thing. Okay, and so a large point of this really is to compare the two releases. And I'm curious if just by looking at them that we can see differences, not only in, the engineering we'll get at, but could it be the sculpt? Have they went in and kind of resculpted and created a brand new unicorn for this line? And it seems so. I mean, I would even look at the chest pieces here and see just how much different they are. Even design-wise, like even the head with the shape of the eyes, it's very minor, but it is interesting because even on the chest armor, where the Saikamu plates kind of stick through, they're different on both, almost like these are different designs. Even at the shoulder, you can kind of see where the Psycho plate kind of stops and it kind of goes up more here. So I don't know if one is supposed to be the superior over the other. Yeah, look at the knees, actually. The knees look completely different, even the shape of what is to open. So again, I don't know what one might be based off of, or what, considering in Unicorn, I'm pretty sure we saw CGI. So I think they would have the CGI files. This one, the old version, it almost looks better in the chest here, but this being a little more open also looks good. The other thing that it might be hard to see on camera is the paint. So this is something else to call out as a positive with the new line, is the paint apps are so much better. There's barely any, if any, I don't think any of the paint bleed that you would see sometimes on action figures, especially Marvel Legends. So it's maybe they have a technique down where it allows the paint to happen. I mean, even if we look at the what I guess are Psycho Vulcans, maybe that come out the shoulder. I guess I haven't really looked at that, or the that would be like the collarbone. I mean, that's just a small spot that is painted right next to some white, and there is like no paint bleed. It is like very much well done. So you got to give it to them for that. And even if you look at the red between the two, and it is hard to see on camera here, and it could be my lighting, but this new one, has that metallic kind of coating that is also on the Epyon and the Wing Zero. It looks like with these newer Gundam Universe figures, their plans, were to give them that paint app. So consistent paint application, as well as, dynamics to the colors by having kind of that sparkly metallic look. This one wins, even though I do, again, find it interesting some of the sculpt, why some of the sculpt is different. Like, yeah, look at, at the top of the shoulder here. Is one anime, is one novel, is one high grade interpretation? Do the Gundam universe have their own interpretation, which they kind of do? Or do they make them just different enough that someone like me would then buy both? But yeah, let's kind of compare the articulation, and then let's go into the new accessories this new one has. Okay, so with the old one, something they've called out is how they're trying to do the leg articulation. So if we bend the knee here, let's see, it stops. It's almost 90. There's a little bit, I guess, maybe, yeah, where the plastic hits here, it just pretty much stops it. And it moves forward pretty good. I mean, that looks like something that's walking. So, I mean, it's not like it's bad, but let's see what this one is doing. Okay, so oh man, even a difference of side skirts. I feel like there's more detail on the older side skirt. Yeah, in fact, for the new one, there's the vent here that is on the old one, but they did not detail it. It is just white. So I would knock a point off on the fact that, yeah, it's not consistent with the paint there. There's some other places too on both of them. But anyway, let's kind of look at the articulation here. So if we were to move it goes up a lot. Well, does it go up a lot more? I mean, it is more. It's more than 90. Not that that's super necessary, but then moving forward. So and you can almost feel it actually as when I'm moving this around. It really does feel like there's some difference and stuff going on. Yeah, because this gets, you can't even move it up that much more. There's a lot of, rotation here in the foot. But this has a lot more. It's pretty crazy. So the range it's pretty interesting how far they were willing to go, considering sometimes it doesn't make sense for a mobile suit to be posed in that way. But I don't know. I wonder if it's just for the greater good of the articulation as a whole, how they're being engineered and built. Let's look at the waist between the two. So the old one couldn't really turn. The new one, let's see, it has this interesting, so it looks like the upper part of the abdomen can turn. It looks like this one just didn't at all. So I guess that is something else they did add into this, is that you can turn. It's not a lot, but it's just enough, I guess, if you wanted to pull something off. It does seem to go back quite a bit, so you could get some flight poses if that was necessary. I don't know how much. This one doesn't seem to go back at all. So, I mean, another point for the new one. And then arms, let's see. Do they go up? No, actually, it stops at 90 here. That's pretty interesting. This just kind of fell apart as I was articulating it. And it's the same with the other arm. The arms are different, completely different sculpts. And even looking at the way they do the shield for the old one, yeah, the shield falls off, so that could make sense why they switched it to a bigger plug, but we'll look at the accessories. And then inside, it looks like we can see a separately sculpted beam saber. Now, it's on this old one as well, but you can actually lift it up and out. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Yeah, there we go. So you can actually lift that up. So if that's not the case with this, it'll be interesting to see what its plan was. Okay, now let me know if there's anything else articulation-wise you're interested in, because I think everything else is pretty standard. I would also say nothing is particularly amazing about the articulation. It's just that it is better than the older one. And then on top of that, with the paints looking so good, I mean, overall, this is just a good value if you want to get a representation of this type of mobile suit. All right, let's look at accessories here. They both have a similar backpack. Again, different sculpts, pretty amazing. The paint's a little brighter on here, and there's the red at the top. Not much more to say than that. I just find all that interesting. The beam sabers are completely different. In fact, they're even smaller, which probably makes sense. They did seem to be a bit big and flat on the old one. I don't know, but it's not too big of a deal. But it's nice that, again, they're actually going through and just resculpting things. So, does this move? Well, I don't want to break anything. Let's look at the manual real quick. Let's see. Warning, delicate. Okay, we're not seeing too much here. No. So very interesting. It doesn't seem like... Now, it is in destroy mode, so it makes sense. But the old version had a way to... And I guess I hadn't messed with this in a while. I guess you just fold it down, but that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, I guess I haven't messed with this for a while, but it does do the articulating here. So yeah, I guess being in destroy mode, it wouldn't matter that it can fold in. So that just means they need to make a unicorn mode Gundam universe. That would be awesome. Okay, and then we've got the beam saber blades, which these are the exact same we see in all of them. So it's just nice to have some more. We've got the stand connector I love. We've got the gun here. It's pretty beam magnum. Now, I have the other one here, so maybe we can compare them real quick. So it looks like they made the beam magnum way bigger and more detailed. Much more detailed? I wouldn't say much more detailed. And you know what? They added the articulated hinge on the new one, so that's nice. They both got the green viewfinder. So yeah, it's nice that they kind of scaled this up, added the articulation on here, and that has a slight, metallic paint on this versus the other one, which doesn't. So hey, another little good thing here with this update. And let's look at the shield. It looks like the shield is slightly smaller. So it is interesting what we're seeing being bigger or smaller. The red on the old one's a lot more diluted. The red on the new one seems to be a lot brighter. But actually, they both had a little bit of a metallic sheen on them. So that's interesting. Also interesting to note how the molded like symbol in the middle is the same yet reversed, which is interesting. Like canonically, should it be one way or the other, or does it go both ways? These are questions most people don't care about. And then on the back, they've got that painted, molded in, different connector piece for the shield on the arm. And now this is a cool one. We've got the bazooka. So this is pretty cool because it didn't come with the other one and it's a neat look. So happy to have that. And the hands. This is, again, a great part of these newer Gundam Universe figures. They're going all out with the hands, making them not much different than Robot Spirits. But we have the 2 trigger finger, the 2 gripping, and then the 2 open and dynamic hands. So these are excellent options that we've got. Oh, of course, the closed fist hands, which I love, already on the figure. Okay, so let's put some stuff on here and see how cool it looks. Okay, trigger finger, put in the shield. And the shield goes in nicely, actually. As I was pushing it in, I could feel that friction. But at the same time, it has articulation. It's like a ball joint. So they did solve the issue with the other one where it had kind of these 3 small friction points. They didn't really go in too deep. They were just there to hang on. This, it's plugged in and it's staying. All right, so it looks like you can have the destroy, hold the bazooka, even with the little shoulder thing going on. You can just adjust it, and that works well. It's, hey, I don't know if you guys grew up, in the 90s where sometimes action figures would be released without being able to hold the weapons. Safe to say, Bandai nailed it with the Gundam Universe here, so I'm glad that that's not an issue. I will say what is an issue, and I'm seeing it here with this hand. It has to go with what I was talking about at the earlier part of the video with the wrist system, with the ball joints that go into the arms, the forearms. It's not deep enough. Not only does it make it easy to fall out, but because it's not deep enough, there's not a lot of friction, and so the weight is just going to pull down the weapon. So that is something I don't know if Bandai didn't realize, or they're like, hey, we'll just skimp on that. But they probably need to go back, maybe add more material to the ball joint of the hand on the wrist peg, or the wrist of the forearm itself maybe needs to be a little deeper. But these, if we look at these old Gundam Universe, this is stuck. I have to really work at it to move it around. Actually, let me put the gun in this hand of the old one, and it's just sitting up. I don't have to do anything. Yeah, the gun is smaller, but they decided to make the gun bigger on this new one, and it flops. If I hold it up, it's just going to flop down. So that, I think, is the main issue now that I've messed with 3 of the brand new renewal of the Gundam Universe line of action figures. The issue is the wrist pegs into the hand. You're going to get some floppy weapons. All right, and that will do it. We have the brand new Renewal Gundam Unicorn Destroy mode, which, hey, they could come out with the Awaken mode, Unicorn mode, have some other shields, some weapons. And we also compared this to the old version of the Gundam Unicorn Destroy mode, which is actually pretty cool already, the way it is. The new one, a little more expensive, way better paint applications, way better articulation, way more accessories that I think is what makes the cost worth it. The only issue, and it's something that Bandai really should fix, is the friction of the wrist peg into the forearm. It is not adequate for holding weapons, so that would need to be fixed. What you can do in the meantime, what I've done, is I put some super glue on the ball joint of the wrist, let that dry. It just creates more material, more friction to plug that into the wrist joint, and it sticks. So that's going to be the fix. I'm going to have to do that with this one, and I'll maybe show a little update on a short or something of what I've done. But I gotta say, this kind of goes back to what I've been talking about lately, is I really like these Gundam Universe figures. I think they're a great representation of mobile suits throughout all of Gundam, and they're affordable, considering especially now with import costs going up, robot spirits are just getting pricier in general. I just hope that they start going through some other more obscure suits. It doesn't have to be super obscure. Like, we've got 2 Destroy Unicorns, but what about a Mark II? You know, I really want a Mark II, so we'll see about that. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and shout out to the supporters that make this possible. If that's something you're into, check the links in the description below. Until next time, have a good one. See y'all.